Well, I have a chicken outside that has been throwing a fit for the last hour. Samson's gone out there because the chicken's so loud. And that's what Duke is looking at. He's looking out towards the back door. Anyway, happy Saturday morning, folks. Uh, we're just kind of relaxing at the house. I wanted to talk to you about a couple things that I've noticed. Number one, we all know that the economy right now is in the crapper, okay? Uh we see it. And we see also that prices are going up and up and up and up. So I had a couple conversations this week, and I want to let on to use some tips. I look at various things before I buy. Okay. One of the things I do is I compare prices between buying a single serving of something compared to buying a case of something. Most of us at this point are living paycheck to paycheck. Some of us are, hi Samson, some of us are living above our paychecks, okay? Because the cost of everything has gone up, but our paychecks are not going up. And at this point, it's a matter of time before most of us are priced out of being able to buy day-to-day goods. So I look at buying things in bulk. Now, on the one hand, yes, it's going to be more expensive to buy in bulk. But on the other hand, when you buy in bulk, you get a lower price per serving. So, one of the examples I have is on occasion, I happen to like SpaghettiOs with meatballs. I can go to my local Dollar General store and pick up one can of SpaghettiOs with meatballs, and the price is going to be $2.29, right? I find that outrageous, but that's what the price is. Whereas I can go online and I can order a case of that same SpaghettiOs with meatballs, same can, and I can get the entire case for $12. So I want to tell you folks that if you buy canned goods, which I do, I buy canned goods off and on, look at looking online to see if you can buy it direct. So even with the cost of shipping for that case, you'll still pay less for that product. So if I was to buy a case of SpaghettiOs and meatballs, have them shipped to my house, it's going to cost me $6 to $7 for shipping, which ends up being right around $19. Whereas if I was to buy the case by the can at $2.29 a can, I would be paying $22 to $23 plus tax, which means more than likely it's going to be $24, $25. This is what we have to do nowadays. We have to look at the cost per item and is it worth paying that cost? Now, we can't do that on every item, obviously. But I wanted to give you some of my tips. I look at stuff to buy in bulk when it goes on clearance. So it could go on clearance at the Food Line. It could go on clearance at the Kroger, the Aldi, the Costco. It could go on clearance on Amazon. It could go on clearance on any of these stores. And you want to look at that. Okay? Another thing that you want to look at is, does your store take coupons? Because if your store takes coupons, then you can use coupons up to a certain limit, right? Because, some stores, because people have done extreme couponing, and it's ruined it for the rest of us, right? So we can only use so many coupons at a time now, right? Because these stores have figured out ways to combat that extreme couponing. Not all stores, but a lot of stores have put that in place. Another thing that's gone up, of course, and we're seeing it across the board, is insurance. Whether it be car insurance, house insurance, medical insurance, has all gone up. Now, part of that is being driven because of the economy. But part of it is being driven by these companies wanting to suck us dry. Okay? And what that is doing is it is increasing people's monthly mortgage bills, because a lot of people, including myself, have got our insurance and our taxes rolled in with our mortgage payment. So we pay so much per month that goes into escrow, and at the end of the year, they pay our insurance and they pay our taxes off of that escrow. Now, what I've seen this year is I've seen not only the insurance costs almost doubling, I've also seen the taxes on things, on personal property, go up. Now, not as bad as the insurance, but that's gone up also. And what this is doing across the board is it is putting people in a situation where, with the higher cost of fuel, the higher cost of food, the higher cost of electricity, the higher cost of water, now you're going to, on top of that, you're going to increase the cost of their car insurance, the cost of their house insurance, and the cost of their taxes. And people's paychecks are not going up in respect to the increase in items. So, here's a tip. When you can, buy in bulk. Because if it's something that you enjoy eating, whether it be canned vegetables, canned spaghetti, canned beef stew, if it's something that you enjoy eating, You can buy it in bulk, and a lot of times that will save you a lot of money. Here's another example, and I'm just going to say it. I buy some of my stuff from Amazon, and some of it I buy from my local Food Line and my local Walmart. Just depends on what's going on sale. Shampoo, soaps, and laundry detergent have gone up exponentially. Coffee. Everybody that I know drinks coffee, and it's gone almost double in price from what it was 2 years ago. If you can buy it at the lower price before that company raises the price again, it behooves you to buy it at the lower cost and have that on your shelf, so that when it does go up in price, which everything is going up in price, that you have it already on your shelf. And so instead of having to buy it, let's say coffee, every month, now you're to 6 weeks, maybe 8 weeks before you have to buy it again. And this helps you in the long run by buying it now at a lesser price and still having it in the household. There is no way, I'm just going to be completely honest, there is no way in today's society that you can be 100% self-sufficient. The way society is made now, you cannot be 100% self-sufficient. Yes, you can have solar panels and produce your own electricity. Yes, you can have rain catchment or a well and produce your own water. Yes, you can grow 80% of what you consume. You can do this. You can grow quite a lot of food in your backyard. And they are at it again. But you cannot buy or grow everything that you consume, or make everything that you consume. Even the Amish have to buy items. So when I say, and I'm probably going to hear a lot about this, when I say that you cannot, in this society, be 100% self-sufficient, I mean it clearly. You can do a lot. You can be 90% to 95% self-efficient, but that 5% is going to catch you in the long run. So what you have to look at is, if I cannot produce it, I cannot make it, and I cannot trade for it, how do I procure those items? And so you need to look with a futuristic eye, just like you do with your 401k and your IRAs and your savings accounts. Just like you look to the future for that, you need to look down the road and say, okay, I cannot produce my own soap or my own shampoo. There are people who can, right? Be very clear about that. There are people who make their own soap and shampoos. I'm not capable of doing that. So I have to buy that. So if I'm going to buy my soap and my shampoos and my laundry detergents, I need to look at where can I get it the cheapest and where can I get it where I can buy it in bulk. Because when you buy in bulk, you pay less per serving of that item than you would if you were to just buy one of them in the store. Good example. Ivory hand soap. Ivory hand soap, we used to be able to buy that 6 or 7 of them in a little package, and it'd be $2-3 for 6 or 7 of them. That now has been reduced to 2. Hear that clearly. That's now been reduced to 2. For the same cost that you used to get 5 or 6. We used to be able to buy body wash for 89 to 99 cents per bottle of body wash. Those days are gone. I want to be very clear when I say this. Those days are gone. What you're going to look at now today is you need to write down, what am I using every month? Every month. What do I know that I buy every month? Every week. What do I eat every week? This is how you build your pantry, is you look at what you use on a day-to-day and you figure out, okay, I use, good example, I like Suave body wash. I just do. I use a bottle of that every 2 weeks. I go through a bottle of Suave body wash. So every 2 weeks, I need a bottle of Suave body wash. So when I go to buy Suave body wash, I'm not going to buy just one. I'm going to buy 24. Now, when I buy 24, I'm going to go look at, okay, where can I get this for a lower cost per portion? And you can go on places like eBay, Amazon, your local Walmart, your local warehouses, and that's how you find these items for less cost per item. Another good example is chicken feed. Chicken feed you can buy from your local granary. You can buy from Azure Standard. Or you can go to like Tractor Supply. You need to look at these stores and see if they have a bulk price. Okay? If they have a bulk price, then yes, like I said before, it's going to be more upfront cost, but in the long run, you're actually paying less per item. Your issue is going to be, where do you put it all? Once you get it, where do you put it all? So, you have to look at what you are capable of storing in your household. And you need to look at everything that you use. I'm talking socks, I'm talking jeans, I'm talking everything. If you can buy it in bulk, that is the way to go. Now, This is not something, and I'll be very clear here, this is not something that you just go out and you spend $7,000 and you buy for the year. Some people are capable of doing that. Most of us are not. This is not, oh, I'm going to buy a year's worth of freeze-dried and put it on the shelf. God bless you. I'm glad you got that kind of money. Most of us do not. What I'm telling you is, I've seen a lot of prepper channels showing that they have all of this stuff, and they're telling people how to do things, and people are listening to them, and then they get discredited, they get discouraged, and they get discredited because what they didn't tell everybody is they just did not go out and buy all this stuff. They very slowly, very surely built that pantry. So a good way to do it is, if you have ever watched Appalachian Homestead with Patera, she's been saying for years, when you go to the store and you know that you use 4 cans of something, buy 5. Put 1 into the back. The next time you go to the store, buy 5 again. Put 1 to the back. Now what you've done is you've put 2 in your long term. And you're rotating that, you're going through that. And this is how you build your pantry. Now you can also look at buying in bulk. So I buy in bulk. I buy in bulk because I can afford to do that. Not everyone can. But if you can afford to buy 1 item per month in bulk, yes, you're going to rotate those items. Yes, you're going to use those items. But if you can afford to buy 1 item in bulk, do it. And I'm not talking buy a pallet full of chicken feed. I'm talking 25 pounds of sugar, 25 pounds of rice. That's bulk. That's bulk price. It's a lot cheaper to buy rice in bulk than it is to buy minute rice. It's a lot cheaper to buy salt in bulk. Buy a 20-pound bag of salt. Yes, you need to have a way to separate that out into smaller portions so it can be stored easier. Yes, you still need to go through all the safety things of, any dry goods you need to freeze. And you need to freeze it for a week to 2 weeks. Bring it to room temperature and then separate it out into either Mylar, mason jars, whatever that you're deciding to store it in. Everybody's going to tell you different ways to do things. What I'm telling you is, if you can buy 1 item a month in bulk and separate it out and put it up and put that in your rotation, this is how you slowly build your pantry. The only thing that I do not buy in bulk, I don't buy it in bulk, is flour. I don't buy flour in bulk. I buy it as I need it. I don't buy more than a month's worth of pet food. That includes my chickens. I'll buy 2 bags of pet food. That will last me for the month. That's what I buy. Okay? So I have the month I'm using and a month behind. You need to look at these things and think about, how can I save money in the long term and yet still have everything that my family needs in the short term. This is not, oh, I feel good because I bought 3 cans of coffee. Okay, you bought 3 cans of coffee. Are you going to use all 3 cans of coffee, or are you just going to put it on the shelf and let it go bad? Are you going to take it, like we've seen some preppers do, and put it in a barrel? So it's in a barrel. You have no listing of what it is for that barrel. So, and you have no date on the barrel to tell you when you put the stuff in the barrel. And so all it's going to do is go there and just totally be destroyed. It's not going to be worth anything once you open it. So basically what you've done is you've took your money and thrown it down the trash can. Right? Money right now is so tight across the board. You don't need to be doing that. You need to look at what you are actually using and make a system where the ones that you just bought, go to the back and you use the oldest first. So you rotate through things, whether it be canned goods, dry goods, whatever. You rotate through it. It does not behoove you to buy 25 pounds of dehydrated, freeze-dried food, right? If you're not going to use it. Don't do that. If you don't use it today, don't buy it. I don't care what any prepper out there is telling you. If you do not know how to cook freeze-dried food, do not buy it. Okay? Because you could have freeze-dried food, you go to cook it, and now you're like, this tastes like cardboard. Because you do not have the experience of cooking it, or you'll make it and it'll be too runny, you have too much water in it, or have not enough water in it, yada, 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 right? If you don't use it on a day-to-day, there's no reason for you to have it on your shelf. Now, do I personally think that you should have freeze-dried items? Absolutely. But you need to know how to cook it. You need to know how to use it. You just don't buy things and put them on a shelf and have this feel-good feeling, oh, I've got this for my family. If you don't know how to use it, it is worthless. You just wasted your money. It's like if you're a mechanic and you work on small engines and all of a sudden you start buying things for an 18-wheeler and you're putting it on the shelf thinking, well, I'll have it. Why do you got that on the shelf? You're never going to use it. It's a waste of space. You need that space for things that you're using on a day-to-day. That's just the reality. That's just a reality, folks. If you do not know how to use a kerosene heater, don't buy it. If you don't know how to use a rifle, don't buy it. You need to have the education and the training for the things that you're going to use. Now, do I think that every family should have, at minimum, some kind of self-protection? Absolutely. Absolutely. That's not only for protection of you, it's protection of your homestead, your animals. Okay? Every family should have that. And every family member should be trained on that. If one person in your family knows how to use a hunting rifle and nobody else in the family knows how to use it, that is a very dangerous item to have in the house. Because if that one individual who actually knows how to use that goes down for whatever reason, for illness or sickness or whatever, and is incapacitated, and now that item is required to protect that homestead, whether it be from a predator or somebody coming in to take what you have, you are more dangerous if you don't have the training with it than you are if you do have the training with it. The reason I say that is, if you don't know how to run a chainsaw, just having a chainsaw stored up in a shed in case of an emergency, well, guess what? More than likely, you're going to cut your leg off, or you're going to cut a piece of flesh off because you don't know how to run that chainsaw. If you don't know how to load and clean a rifle, guess what? Somebody probably is going to get shot. So just like in your pantry, you go through things that you go through on a day-to-day. If you don't know how to use a manual can opener, you're in bad shape. Everybody needs to look at things that they use on a day-to-day. And they need to think about, okay, I've got this item. What is the backup of that item? If my drill doesn't work, I have screwdrivers. If my screwdrivers are broke, what can I use now? This is you need to apply that to everything that you do. If I lose a pair of jeans out there fixing a fence, do I have another pair? Or do I have something that is going to take the place of those jeans while I'm doing my day-to-day on my homestead, right? This is the prepping mentality. It is not, and I will say this clearly, it is not, oh, I'm going to store a warehouse full of goods and just let it sit there and gather dust. That is not prepping. That is hoarding. Prepping is you prepare for what your family uses. You buy those items that your family uses, and you have it in rotation. Everybody in the family knows how to use everything that is on those shelves. And they might not be an expert at it, but they may be adequate at it. If you are in the kitchen and you are cooking and your children know how to cook a basic meal, that is prepping. If you are in the garden and you are planting things and you are harvesting things, and everyone in your household knows how to plant that plant and how to harvest that plant, that is prepping. That's the reality that we live in today. You need to get your family to the point where you don't see prepping as this guy has got a warehouse full of freeze-dried goods that he has sitting on the shelf, and it's got 2 inches of dust on top of it. None of it has ever been used. He has never used it. It is a stage prop. Makes him feel good at the point. But if you're not rotating it, it's no good. Same thing with your water. You can have tons and tons of water stored up, but if you're not rotating to that water, guess what? It will go bad. You have to take prepping for what it is. You have to do what is best for your family and your circumstances and your taste and what you can afford. Don't be talked into buying all of this extra equipment that you probably will never use. It'll just go in a closet somewhere or up in the attic somewhere and gather dust and go bad because you never use it. And then when it's required that you have to be able to use that item, you don't know how to use it. That's not prepping, that's hoarding. That's being talked into something that you don't need. That's what that is. So I wanted to go through this a little bit because I've seen so many channels hype this item or that item, hype, oh, you got to do this or you got to do that, hype, oh, if you don't have these type of individuals around you, you're never going to survive. None of that on your day-to-day means crap. You can't let the anxiety of the times that we live in override your common sense. And your common sense is only buy things that you know how to use, are going to use, and are going to put in rotation. It does you absolutely zero good to have 5 years of freeze-dried food on the shelf if you've never cooked freeze-dried food. By the time you have to use it, you're going to be very disappointed. That's the reality. Don't let these channels that have been prepping for 10, 15 years and have built their pantries up from nothing discourage you. Everybody starts at the bottom. Everybody has that situation where they make mistakes. Everybody builds something that looks like crap and they learn from it. Everybody starts to do a repair on something and has to call somebody who knows actually how to do it to show them how to do it. Everybody. Nobody is an expert. Unless you're doing that on a day-to-day, you're not an expert. That's like you taking somebody straight off the street out here, putting them in a big truck and saying, drive this. Yes, it's an automatic, But if they have absolutely no clue how to turn that truck, how to back that truck, how to open and close the doors, how to safely hook up to that trailer, and how to safely drop that trailer, they're not a driver. They're a body in the seat. If you've got somebody who goes to the rifle range with a rifle and they fire off 5, 6 shots, and then they're trying to tell you how to shoot, and that they've only fired 5 or 6 shots. Come on, you're not an expert. You're not out there every day shooting. You're not doing that on a day-to-day. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody makes canning mistakes when they first start off canning. And everybody, when they first get into canning, I don't care who you were scared to death on that first canning that they did. That they had done everything right. Everybody. Everybody. And even people who have canned for years will tell you that they have made mistakes. So don't be scared of making mistakes because you're scared of wasting money. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to buy things that are useless. And you're going to be like, I don't know why I spent $25 for that item. It's absolutely crap. It's going to happen. My point is if you can buy things that you use on a day-to-day basis in bulk, and you know you're going to use through those items, do so. Because you're going to save money on the single servings of that item. I hope my rant helps somebody out. Because I'm tired of seeing people saying they're a prepper and showing things that shows that they are not a prepper, they are a hoarder. And they have absolutely no idea what they're talking about. Bicycle.